everybody, Chris with Lift Kits for Less. Hey, check this out. This is the new ProComp 6-inch Stage 2 kit. The part number on this is K2200B. Now, this is for the diesel 4x4s. This is for your current Dodge Ram 2500. Front coil springs in the rear, front coil springs in the back. I'm sorry, front and rear. Now, this is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and so on, okay? What my goal is today is to go over what comes in this kit, some features of this kit, some warranty information, wheel tire fitment. We are going to be installing this on a brand new 2017 Dodge Ram. We're going to head out to the truck here in a second, and we'll go over all this on the truck as well. My goal here is to go over what comes in the kit, some features of the kit, some do's, some don'ts, some features, and so on. Now, guys, at any time, if you want to get the latest on all of the suspension world, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. You'll always get updates all the time. It's pretty cool. Also, guys, up here in the left-hand corner of your screen is going to be an eye. Hit that eye at any time. Takes you right to the product page, wheel tire fitment, the directions, some features, all of the part numbers. Everything you need is going to be there for you, okay? Obviously, we ship worldwide. Ship time on this is usually 1 or 2 days. Goes truck freight. And we can coordinate all that for you, okay? Cool, okay? Guys, again, now this is the Stage 2 kit. The difference between Stage 1 and Stage 2 is simply their massive control arms, Stage 2. Stage 1 is identical. It just comes with these massive control arm drop brackets, so you retain your factory control arms. And I'm going to talk about features and benefits of that versus this system. Also, guys, this is identical to the gas model. Now, if you have a gas, it's going to be a lot lighter motor, and they tune down these coil springs so they're not so stiff for a gas motor. It's going to be rated for the weight. Now, the cool thing ProComp does do is they stamp the actual part number on these coil springs. So by accident, you get gas coils and you got a diesel, or if you have a diesel and vice versa, check your part numbers, okay? I'll tell you what, ProComp has phenomenal directions. It's really the best in the industry. Now, we sell everything from, FabTech to Icon, all the way down the line, Zone Off-Road, everything. And I tell you that ProComp's directions are phenomenal. It's, they call out the part number and then the page that you can go to look it up. So it's really sweet for you do-it-yourself guys. So that's a nice feature of this kit. All right. Again, this is for the diesel. There's no difference. Touched on that. Okay. First of all, some key components to this kit. Obviously, we got these massive control arms. I'm going to dive into that. But you got a front sway bar drop bracket. You got the bump stops. Track bar drop bracket gets us back in the factory position. Now, the goal of any good quality suspension system is longevity, warranty, but addressing all aspects of the suspension so that when you drive this down the road, you get excellent tire wear, it's safe, you're not swaying, you don't get top heavy where you can be unstable. And obviously ProComp, what is a $600-700 million corporation, has 85 retail stores across the U.S. I mean, they really is arguably the leader in the suspension world. I think, they've been around for so many years now, and they really have set the standard. The other thing that's truly unique about ProComp is that with those retail install centers, if something goes wrong, there's no one else that has that ability to send that information from the actual installer back to corporate where they can make a tweak. Maybe the coil springs are not coming in at 6 inches. Maybe their track bar isn't centering the axle. They can make modifications, and it's really unique to ProComp. No other suspension company has the ability to get that information back and make changes. That's truly unique, and I think that's a huge advantage to ProComp. Anyway, I like ProComp. I've been out to the manufacturing center in Southern Cal. Everything's American made. Coil Springs. All of their knuckles are made in America. Everything's American made. Shocks are, I think, probably mostly some are in the U.S., some are going to be out of Mexico, but the actual suspension components are going to come out of Southern Cal. So if you want American made, you like American made, check out ProComp. All right, coil springs we talked about. There is a whole section of directions. These are going to be offset to correct any kind of angle of the coil so it doesn't get a wow in it. And there's a whole section in the install on that goes over how to properly install this. Also, guys, the one thing that is the major feature of this kit are these control arms. Now, obviously, as you go up in height, you make your vehicle less stable. So you don't want it. The only way to correct that typically is to increase the coil rate. And the problem with that, right, is you make that coil stiffer and stiffer and stiffer, and your ride goes to crap. So what ProComp does, and I met with their engineers about this, is really pretty interesting, is that they beefed up these massive control arms so that they don't get that side-to-side sway and risk making your ride go to crap. What I'm trying to say is the coil spring rate on this is almost identical to your factory coil, and that's truly unique to ProComp. These coil springs have the same rate as their standard OE coil, so it's going to ride about as close to factory as possible because of this massive control arm. Now, this does use a true rubber bushing, and why is that important? Because energy is going to come up from your front axle up into the frame. Now, if you use a poly or a hard plastic, which some of the manufacturers use, it's going to conduct that energy into your cab and you're going to feel it. True rubber bushing, massive control arm, basically OE coil rate coil springs. So in terms of ride quality, this is going to be pretty phenomenal. Now, we've installed several of these kits, and also obviously we sell worldwide, getting nothing but positive feedback on this kit. What else? This is your front track bar location. The directions, again, I mean, the blowouts of all the components are just phenomenal. I mean, everything is here. It's just this is, I love installing these kits because the diagrams are phenomenal. All right. What else? Got your pitman arm here, puts that back in the right angle. I got a torque bar for the pitman arm. Got your brake line relocations. This is a full suspension system. You're not going to have to add on or go get additional items. Plug this in, put your wheels and tires. Wheels and tires, 37 by 13 and a half. Massive tire. You can go 18s, 20s, whatever you like. You want to get aggressive with a big offset. More offset you got, more risk for rub. Keep that in mind. But typical negative 12, 24, 44, pretty common. You can go with those, okay? Also, it's got bump stop brackets in the rear. The way they do theirs, they just mount together, the holes line up. This is where your bump stop goes in the rear. We're going to show you this on the truck. A couple features, they incorporate the rear track bar relocation bracket as part of this rear seat. This is the rear height. It's about 4 inches. Now they do have these plates. If you want to create a little additional height in the rear, keep some rake, you can put these plates in. These go on the bottom right there. So that's kind of a cool feature. What else? Rear sway bar end links, and basically that's your major components. Now, one of the value propositions you have with dealing with lift kits for less is that we work with everybody. This particular guy likes the looks of a remote reservoir shock. He wanted the additional performance. He wanted that look. We're also going to be putting in a dual steering stabilizer Fox as well. We could customize any order essentially to meet what your needs are. Just going to go with the standard ProComp shocks in the rear end. Really not visible, he didn't care, but the front he wants it to look pretty cool, and the additional performance. You can always throw on additional shocks in the rear. Some of the manufacturers change their mount points or the diameter, and so you kind of get stuck with their shock package. Probably the number one company that does that is Rough Country. They literally change out all of the configurations, so you're stuck with Rough Country shocks for the life of that vehicle, or it's hard to get something to match up. So ProComp's pretty cool. I know BDS the same way. They use a lot of Fox components, Zone, Ready Lift, Super Lift uses OE shock mounts. So that's pretty cool. I like that. This is a cool part of this kit. What else? Wheels again, we got that. Oh, guys, one thing that is other unmatched item about ProComp is their ProComp Promise warranty. There is not a better warranty on the manufacturer. It's absolutely free. ProComp, and they don't really advertise this, but they literally, once you apply for the warranty, it gives you that drivetrain power warranty. That's about a $300 insurance plan that ProComp literally takes out to cover your vehicle. So in terms of peace of mind, got a brand new 2019 Dodge Ram 2500, you're worried about factory warranty issues, take the warranty, it's free. I mean, it's no brainer, okay? Guys, remember here at Lift Kits for Less, we always coming out with cool content. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to head out to the truck right now, and we're going to go get this bad boy installed. Cool. Okay, awesome. Gary just finished installing our Stage 2 ProComp kit. Real quick, guys, remember the difference between Stage 1 is we would retain the factory control arm. Here you can see this. This would be the factory one, and what it would use these massive brackets, and it would push that arm down, and that's the downside of that is you lose clearance, okay? So with this, we go straight from the factory frame up to the axle, okay? And again, this is a true rubber bushing, so this will give you pretty much a factory ride. The goal here, obviously, is to get 6-inch to lift, clear 37 13.5, and that's what we're gonna throw on here in a second. Fox remote reservoirs, he opted to upgrade here. Guys, this is a quick note. When you install your clamp, try to stay off this the logo, and the reason why is the logo will spin. So if you can get just below that sticker there, this will stay looking pretty cool instead of starting to twist, and it won't look so great, okay? We'll work over here to the front. So linear rate coil spring, basically an OE coil rate, so basically same factory ride. It uses the coil seat here to correct the angle. This is obviously the passenger side, and then it re-indexes at the top, and the template comes with that. This is your factory sway bar relocation bracket. This is ideal just to lower the bracket, the sway bar, so you don't have to replace your end links. It's always, these things are a fail point, common, so if you were to leave this in the factory position and go with a longer sway bar, if the sway bar end link were to break, you'd be stuck trying to hunt one down. With this system, like this situation, you just run into your local auto parts store, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever, and just get a new factory sway bar end link, because these do fail. Here's your bump stop extension, critical, right? We don't want to overcompress our coils and fry them. Same with the shocks. Working around. So this is your track bar relocation, so it puts the factory hard bar or track bar back in the factory location, centers everything up. This is truly unique to ProComp. They actually have basically a 4-point mounting system. So you have the 2 nuts to go up in the frame, and they use the holder here will snap this off, but this holds the 2 nuts, so it's easy to line those up and get them into place. And then it mounts here at the frame, but also they reinforce it up here, which is really cool. So this is ultra planted, no risk for any kind of play in the system. It's pretty sweet. All right, here's the other seat for the coil. And we'll work our way around here. Looking good. This thing is going to be awesome. We'll jump to the back end. All right. All right, so rear end, obviously we got on the Dodge Ram 2500, they get, this is pretty unique. In 14, they got rid of the leaf springs and went to a coil, so a plusher ride. It's got basically what we call a 4-link suspension system in the rear. The axle is attached to the frame via control arms. Trucks more and more are really starting to have basically a car ride or a coil suspension. You're seeing more and more trucks going to a full-length coil in the front. And then in the rear, I wouldn't be shocked to see in the near future guys using a coil, traditional coil instead of a shock. Anyway, here's your sway bar end links in the rear. Put this back in the factory location. Track bar, this is a reinforcement and relocation. Here's I don't know, Dave, you can see this in here. Pretty sweet setup. Bump stop extensions. Again, don't want to overcompress our coils. As you can see, this retains your factory coil. And just raises this up 4 inches, so you get basically the identical ride. Doesn't change the coil rate. So the idea is to have this thing as ride as factory as possible. This is the other side. This is really idiot proof. It only has 1 mounting weight, so you can only put this in. But basically it's shorter in the front, so it rotates the coil, keeps this thing in the correct position for the axle rotation. And then of course we got the shocks, okay? Awesome. I think that kind of covers it. So I'm pretty excited. We're going to drop this down, go get the alignment, and take it for a test drive and see how it feels. All right. Okay. Awesome. So awesome. Just got back to the alignment shop. When we went in, everything is in the red. Now everything's in the green. So we got a perfect alignment. Couple of notes, guys. This is going to sit level, basically dead level, maybe a little tall in the rear, but basically dead level. So it does have these additional spacers for guys that want to, if you're towing, you want a little more rake, you can throw these in, okay? Also, guys, 37 12.5 on the factory R20. You really need about a -12. This is going to rub, especially in reverse, and very, very barely rubs at full lock left and right. It hits the actual the new control arms. So you guys want to go, maybe you want to step up to a -12, -24, 44, it'll look tough and look good. As you can see, the wheel's pushed all the way in with this factory offset, so risk of rub, okay? Other than that, It rode absolutely perfect, straight down the freeway. We took it in the back. It rides factory. It feels identical to it did when it came in. Again, with the massive control arms, they're able to duplicate the OE spring rate. The goal anytime, right, when you lift your truck, you want it to go down the road, feel safe, feel planted, no craziness, and it feels perfect. So I'm super stoked. I know the customer is going to be super stoked. You can see it's gorgeous. It turned out perfect. So I'm pumped. All right, guys. Well, we hope you found this video helpful. Here at Lift Kits for Less, we're always coming out with fresh content. I told you earlier, so hit the subscribe button to stay up on the latest content coming out. Remember, here at Lift Kits for Less, you know, we represent everybody. I know one thing's going to come up. You guys are going to ask me about these shocks. So the guy went with Foxes in the front and just the standard rear. Right now, Fox does not have a remote reservoir shock for the rear for these Rams. I know they're in the works. They're coming out anytime now. They'll be out. But anyway, just a heads up. Went with the Fox remotes in the front and the standards in the rear. And that's just something you can always add on later. And that's what's really cool about working with us, is that we work with all the different manufacturers. We can customize this order. So you can live chat with us, give us a call. We're happy to help, okay? Remember, here at Lift Kits for Less, you get more.